Welcome to a deep dive into something, well, pretty much everyone thinks about, how we connect with other people. Have you ever wished you could just walk into any room and, feel more confident? Or keep a conversation going without those awkward silences? Or maybe just make a really great impression? Today, we're unpacking a whole bunch of insights from Leil Lowndes' book, 92 Little Tricks for Big Success in Relationships. And this isn't just about, basic manners. It's more about the subtle stuff, the signals and strategies that build real connections. Unforgettable ones. You'll notice she has these really vivid names for her techniques, which actually makes them easy to remember.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is that even though she calls them tricks, they're not manipulative. They're actually practical habits, things you can actually do. We'll explore how these small shifts, body language, how you talk, even your mindset, can really change how people see you and interact with you. Our mission today is basically to pull out the best bits, give you a kind of shortcut to feeling, ready for pretty much any social situation.
Okay, let's dig into this then. First impressions. How do you make someone feel genuinely special, right from the moment you meet them? Lowndes suggests it often starts before you even open your mouth. This idea of the flooding smile. It's more than just smiling, isn't it? What's the trick there?
It really is, the flooding smile. The key is that slight pause. You don't just flash a generic smile. You look at the person for a second, then let this big, warm smile spread across your face. It signals, hey, this smile is specifically for you. Makes it feel genuine, intentional.
Okay, so it feels less like a reflex and more like a real reaction to them.
Exactly, and that feels good. Then there's sticky eyes, or she also calls it epoxy eyes. It's about holding their gaze just a little longer than usual.
Gently, though.
You're not staring them down.
Right, not creepy staring.
Definitely not. It just conveys deep interest. For this moment, they are the most important person in the room. It's incredibly powerful for making someone feel valued.
That makes sense. It's about presence. And building on that, she talks about the big baby pivot. I love that name.
Yeah, it's memorable.
And hello, old friend. So the pivot is turning your whole body, not just your head.
That's it. Like a baby instinctively turns its whole body towards something interesting. When you do that as an adult, it sends this powerful nonverbal message. You have my complete, undivided attention. It signals respect.
And the hello, old friend greeting. That sounds a bit risky. What if they don't react well?
Well, it's about the energy you bring. You greet them with this sudden burst of warmth and delight, almost as if you're genuinely surprised and thrilled to see a long-lost friend. It's disarming. That unexpected joy is contagious. It bypasses that initial awkwardness. These nonverbal things, the smile, the eyes, the pivot, they set the whole tone before you've even really started talking.
Okay, so you've nailed the nonverbals. Great first impression made. But then, what do you actually say? How do you keep the conversation going, make it meaningful? Lowndes has some interesting ideas here, like the what's it trick.
Yes, the what's it. Wearing or carrying something a bit unusual.
Exactly, like a unique pin or an interesting bag. The idea is it gives them something easy to comment on, right? An icebreaker they can initiate.
Precisely. It takes the pressure off you and them. It's like dangling a little conversational bait. And related to that is the premeditated icebreaker.
Right, having a couple of things ready to go.
Yeah, just some easy, open-ended questions or observations about the event, the venue, something neutral. It's not about being fake or scripted. It's just being prepared. Like having backup flashlights, as she says. Prevents awkward silences.
I like that analogy. It's practical. Then there's never the naked city. This one's brilliant.
Oh, I love this one too.
Instead of just saying your hometown is Chicago, you add a little flavor like Chicago, near Wrigley Field, I used to sneak into games.
Yeah.
Why is that small detail so effective?
Because it gives people something to grab onto. A plain fact like Chicago is, it's flat. It doesn't invite connection. Adding that little detail, that image, that hint of personality, it gives them an emotional hook, something to ask about, relate to. It makes you memorable.
It humanizes the information.
Exactly. And the nutshell resume does something similar for your job. Instead of just saying, I'm an accountant, which can sometimes stop conversation, you say something intriguing about the benefit you provide.
Like, I help small businesses find hidden profits.
Perfect. Or, I help people tell their stories. It sparks curiosity. It invites the question, oh, how do you do that? Makes you sound competent and interesting, not just defined by a label.
And she also suggests boosting your vocabulary, right? Using more evocative words with your personal thesaurus.
Yeah, moving beyond just fine or good or nice. Using words like fascinating, terrific, intense. It injects energy into your conversation and makes you sound more energetic and engaging.
Okay, so we're making good impressions, starting conversations, but how do we make the other person feel truly heard? This seems crucial. Lowndes talks about kill the quick me too. What's the thinking there?
Oh, this is a big one. It's that urge when someone shares something to immediately jump in with, oh yeah, me too. One time her point is, hold back for a moment. Let them have the spotlight. Ask a follow-up question about their experience first.
Let them finish their story.
Exactly. Show you're genuinely interested in them, not just waiting for your turn to talk. You can share your related story later, but give them the floor first. It shows respect.
That takes discipline.
It does. And then there's communication, focusing your language on you.
So instead of I like this place, it's you'll love this place.
Precisely. Or this will be really useful for you. It subtly centers the conversation on them, makes them feel considered. It ties into the swiveling spotlight. The idea is to be genuinely curious about the other person.
Yeah.
Ask good questions. Make them the star. People love talking about themselves, and they'll remember you as a great conversationalist because you made them feel interesting.
That's a great way to frame it. You become memorable by making them feel good. And for drawing people out more, she has parroting and encore. These sound almost too simple.
They do, but they work incredibly well. Parroting is just gently repeating the last 2 or 3 words the person said, usually with a slight upward questioning inflection.
Like if they say, I had a really frustrating day, you say.
A frustrating day. It's non-invasive, it shows you're listening, and it prompts them to elaborate, to go deeper, without you having to ask a direct question. It keeps the focus on them.
Clever. And encore.
That's simply asking a follow-up question after they finish a story, like, wow, what happened next? Or what was that like for you? It shows you're engaged. You valued their story and you want more. It makes them feel heard and encourages them to keep sharing.
These are really practical tools for active listening. And she also mentions keeping up with the latest news.
Right, just having a general awareness of current events or topics relevant to the people you might meet. It gives you common ground, something easy to chat about if needed.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. How does all this apply to projecting confidence, maybe even charisma, especially when talking to people who might seem intimidating, like VIPs or bosses? She mentions scramble therapy. What's that about?
It's about intentionally putting yourself in diverse social settings. Go to an art gallery opening one night, a sports bar the next, a tech meetup after that. The idea is to stretch your comfort zone, become socially versatile so you feel at ease in almost any environment with any type of person.
Builds adaptability.
Exactly. And learn a little gobbledygook fits here too.
Learning the jargon of other fields.
Just the basics. If you're talking to a doctor, knowing a couple of common medical terms used correctly, of course, or tech terms with an engineer, it creates a little bridge. It makes them feel like you understand their world, even just a tiny bit. It builds rapport quickly.
That makes sense. And I really noted her point on never say I'm just. That feels like such common self-deprecation.
It is, and it's undermining, saying I'm just an assistant or I'm just starting out. Lowndes argues you should never diminish yourself or your role. Own it. State what you do confidently. How you talk about yourself shapes how others see you, and crucially, how you see yourself.
That's powerful. It connects to projecting confidence through your voice too. Clear as a bell and don't around.
Absolutely. Speaking clearly, avoiding mumbling, and cutting down on filler words like her tip is to train yourself to just pause silently for beat instead of filling the silence with noise. It makes you sound much more thoughtful and in control.
It takes practice, I imagine.
It does. But it makes a huge difference in perception.
And what about connecting emotionally? The I hear your trick.
This is a great one for empathy. It's about reflecting back the emotion you perceive in their voice or story. Sounds like you're really disappointed or, wow, you must have been thrilled. It validates their feelings, makes them feel deeply understood, which is a very powerful connector.
And for adding a bit of perceived power or presence, she talks about the whisper technique and being okay with silence.
Right. The whisper technique, lowering your voice slightly at a key moment, is counterintuitive but effective. It draws people in, makes them lean closer, creates intimacy, and emphasizes your point. And be comfortable with pauses, again, resisting the urge to fill every silence. It shows you're confident, thoughtful, not nervous, or scrambling for words.
So it signals control, not anxiety.
Exactly. It conveys that you're comfortable taking your time and comfortable with the other person taking theirs.
This leads nicely into talk like you belong and never confess your nervousness. What's the core idea when interacting with, say, someone famous or powerful?
It's about your internal stance. You act respectful, yes, but also equal. You don't fawn or act starstruck. You behave as if you belong in that conversation, in that room. It's about projecting quiet confidence and self-respect. And crucially, don't tell them you're nervous. Act as if. Act confident, and often the feeling follows. It's like a mental trick you play on yourself that actually works.
Fake it till you make it, but in a specific, strategic way.
Sort of, yeah. It's about managing your internal state by choosing your external behavior.
Okay, so how do you become like an insider in any group and leave people with a really positive feeling about you? Lowndes talks about be a copy class and echoing. This is mirroring, basically.
It's subtle mirroring, yes. Copy class is about subtly matching their posture, their energy level, their pace of speech. Echoing is about occasionally using their specific words or phrases. If they keep saying fantastic, you might use fantastic later on.
Why does that work so well?
Because subconsciously, we like and trust people who are like us. It's a primal thing. When you subtly mirror someone, you're sending these nonverbal signals of similarity, of being on the same wavelength. They feel more understood, more connected, often without consciously knowing why.
It builds rapport under the radar.
Exactly. And using empathizers reinforces that, using short emotional phrases like, that's wonderful, or, oh, how frustrating. It shows you're emotionally attuned to them.
And crucially, avoid one-upping.
Yes. Resist the urge to top their story. Let them have their moment. You'll impress people far more by being genuinely interested in their accomplishments or experiences than by constantly trying to showcase your own.
It shifts the focus back to connection, not competition. And I love the idea of mingle, like, you're the host.
Isn't it great? Even if you're a guest, act with the warmth and responsibility of a host. Introduce people to each other, initiate conversations, make sure people feel included. It radiates confidence and generosity. People are drawn to that.
It's proactive.
Yeah.
And she suggests being a good interrogator, but the good kind.
Right, not grilling them. It means asking slightly deeper questions than typical small talk. Trying to find their greatest hits, the topics they genuinely love talking about, their passions, their proud moments. When you find those, the conversation really takes off.
Okay, wrapping things up. How do we make sure the ending of an interaction is just as strong as the beginning? Leaving that positive, lasting impression. Always give a future hook. What does that look like?
It's about ending with a reason, however small, to connect again. I'll send you that link, or let me know how that project goes, or we should definitely grab coffee sometime to talk more about this. It leaves the door open.
Keeps the connection alive, potentially.
Exactly. And be a king or queen of callback is powerful too.
That's mentioning something from earlier in the conversation.
Yes. Near the end, casually referencing something specific they told you earlier. Well, good luck with that presentation you mentioned. It proves you were really listening, that you remembered. It makes people feel incredibly seen and valued.
That's a really nice touch. And be the encore.
End the conversation while the energy is still high. Leave them wanting a little more. Don't let it drag on till you both run out of things to say. A graceful exit at a high point leaves a much better final impression.
Like a performer leaving the stage after a great number.
Precisely. And she brings back the tombstone game, thinking about how you want to be remembered in this interaction and shaping your words and actions accordingly. And finally, close with class. Every ending matters. The end of a conversation, an email sign-off, even a handshake. End it with warmth, presence, and grace. It's the last thing they'll remember.
Wow. Okay, so this deep dive into Leil Lowndes' 92 little tricks, it really shows that becoming a great communicator isn't necessarily about huge dramatic changes. It's more about consistently applying these small, thoughtful, sometimes counterintuitive habits, being present, really valuing the other person, and being intentional.
Absolutely. And, knowledge is one thing, but applying it is where the change happens. Maybe think about which one of these techniques we discussed feels, most challenging or maybe the most intriguing to you. Is it the flooding smile? Is it killing the quick me too? Or maybe parroting? What might happen if you just picked one of those and really focused on practicing it this week, even in small ways? A quick chat with a barista, a call with a colleague. How might that one small shift start to change your interactions, your connections, maybe even how you feel about your own social skills?